All right, so, you guys sent in some pretty wild stuff this time.
Oh, yeah.
This transcript you sent, seriously messed up. Like, is this even legal? We got to dive into this.
Yeah.
Congressional stock trading. Are they using inside information to get rich? It's kind of sketchy.
Yeah, no kidding. We're looking at this transcript from the Ring of Fire YouTube channel.
Right.
And the title of the video is pretty straightforward. Congress members are making insane profits off insider trading. So we'll break down their claims and try to figure out what's going on.
Let's do it. Right off the bat, they hit us with some crazy numbers.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Nancy Pelosi. Her investments supposedly crushed the market by over 200%.
Whoa, 200%.
Over 200%. For context, the average market return is like 8 to 15% over time.
Right.
That's a huge difference.
It's massive. And the speaker in the video, they're not holding back. They're like, to get returns like that, you got to be a super genius or an evil criminal. Straight up comparing it to like classic insider trading, the kind that sends people to jail. They're setting a serious tone here.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not just Pelosi.
No.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz, they say she beat the market by 142%.
Wow.
Then there's some names you might not expect. David Rouser, 148% above average. Even Ron Wyden, 123%. These aren't just lucky breaks. They're blowing everyone else out of the water.
Right. It's one thing to have a good year or two, but consistently beating the market by that much makes you wonder, what are they doing that we don't know?
Exactly. So how are they pulling this off? The transcript points to a couple of things. First, the power of the purse in the House of Representatives. What does that even mean?
Okay, so basically the argument is that when you're drafting and approving the federal budget, you get this insider view of where the money's going.
Okay.
Right? Like imagine an infrastructure bill. If you knew beforehand that they were going to spend like $50 billion on roads, you could invest in, say, Caterpillar, they call it CAT, in the transcript before everyone else jumps on board.
Oh, I see. So you're basically getting a sneak peek at which parts of the economy are about to boom thanks to government spending.
Exactly.
And they also talk about defense spending. If you know which companies are going to get those big Department of Defense contracts, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, before it's public, that's got to be valuable.
Oh, yeah. The speaker's adamant about this. They say, you don't get returns like this accidentally. That is not possible. They're saying it's too consistent, too big. It has to be some kind of systemic advantage. And they keep bringing up names like Rouser and Wyden, people we don't always hear about, to show that this isn't just a few isolated cases.
That makes sense. Now, of course, when these accusations come out, you get denials. The transcript mentions Dan Crenshaw. He got slammed on social media for allegedly profiting from his position.
Right.
What did he say?
He called it absolutely lying.
Wow.
But here's the thing. Even while denying it, his reported returns were still like 61.33% above average.
Really?
And the speaker in the video is like, okay, how do you explain that? If it's just your investing skills, how are you so much better than everyone else?
It's a fair point. When you're consistently winning that big, people are going to be suspicious. Makes you think, like, how much scrutiny should our elected officials face when it comes to their finances?
Yeah, for sure. And that leads right into the whole public perception issue.
Yeah.
How people see this and the consequences or lack thereof. The speaker doesn't hold back, calling it disgusting, and those involved criminals.
Whoa.
They compare it directly to private sector insider trading, which can land you in serious trouble.
Right.
But for Congress,
Yeah.
they joke about like a $200 fine. It's highlighting how people see the current penalties as a joke compared to the potential profits.
Right. The lack of accountability is what's really infuriating people, it seems like. The transcript even mentions this thing where people are trying to mirror Pelosi's investments, assuming she's got some inside scoop. There's this feeling that the system is rigged, that some officials are just in it for the money, not the public service.
Yeah, it paints a pretty bleak picture, makes you question the whole system. So let's recap. We've got multiple members of Congress with crazy high investment returns, way above average.
Right.
The source we're looking at strongly implies that it's not just skill, but likely tied to inside information they get from their positions.
And the speaker in the video is pretty skeptical of the denials, especially when those same people are still making huge returns.
Exactly. There's a lot of anger and frustration about the lack of accountability, comparing it to insider trading in the private sector.
So here's the big question for you listening at home. What does this all say about the public's trust in government? If these claims are true, what does it mean for transparency and accountability? Who are our representatives really working for?
Those are some tough questions. And it's important to remember that this is just one source, one perspective, but it definitely highlights a critical issue.
Yeah.
We encourage you to think about all this, maybe do some more research, see what other viewpoints are out there.
This is something that affects us all, you know. So yeah, definitely look into it. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Hopefully it gave you something to think about.